What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 208 of the Taste Cast, our weekly podcast where we talk about all things gaming. My name's Seth, and joining me today, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, how you doing? Since we did our, I don't know what you call it, people sometimes call it Key 3, but E3 coverage of the Summer Game Fest, Devolver Digital, what was the other one we did? Xbox. We didn't do Ubisoft, but we're going to be making up for that in this Taste Cast because most of what they showed wasn't worth it. But there's two things I think we should watch. How you doing since then? And how you doing now?
Doing good. I didn't really see a whole lot come out after the stuff we watched, so that's probably
It was kind of like it opened, the doors opened, showed a bunch of stuff, and then it was just gone.
Yeah, I know I saw some people reacting to some of the other shows, but I didn't really see anything being super talked about. So,
I feel like everything that needed to be seen and talked about happened Summer Game Fest and Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, doing all right. Yeah, yourself?
I'm good. I'm ready to do a Tasty Cast. It's been a while, and it always happens like that when we have all the presentations to react to. This year felt a little less than normal, though. There's like somebody was missing. There's like one or two people that didn't do presentations this year. So, because like there's only 4 of them, and we watched 3 of them. And there's typically like, isn't there like a Square Enix one? Isn't there like a?
I think Square usually just throws theirs in with other people.
EA or something was missing. I don't know.
Once upon a time there was an EA one, but they haven't done one in a while, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Just felt kind of weird. Felt like there's less than we usually reacted to. But yeah, I'm good since then. Before we start, basically, we're going to be watching a lot of videos that happened in between these events, things that we might have missed. So that's what we'll be doing today. But real quick, I want to get your thoughts on there's a growing talking point I'm seeing right now where people are saying they miss E3. And when E3 was still around, people were saying that it's going to die. It's going to die in a year now. It's going to die. Eventually, like after, 10 years of saying it's going to die in a year now, it finally died. And a lot of people were celebrating that it died and they wanted it to die. And now people are like, oh, I miss E3. How do you feel about the current state of the E3 season, I'll call it? Do you prefer what they're doing now? Do you miss E3? Do you like elements of both? What's your general thoughts on that?
Honestly, the only part of E3 I think I would miss at all, and I never participated in it anyways, was the actual convention part of it.
I had to do it once, and that was the last E3 ever.
Yeah, and that part I understand, that's kind of a bummer that part's gone, but the rest of it I'm experiencing basically the same way I was before, which is just via YouTube. So it hasn't changed a whole lot in my opinion. It's just, different people doing it now. So and a lot of people doing their own stuff instead, which I think even if E3 came back, they would just continue to do their own things because E3 was getting too expensive and they could do it cheaper themselves and get the same amount of traction. So, I don't know. Not really a big thing for me other than the convention part, which I do think that part's a bummer.
Yeah, and I know that Jeff Keighley's trying to make Summer Game Fest be like what E3 originally was, where it's like a smaller convention with not a convention, but like a place where only journalists went, basically. Because E3 turned into like a giant convention, basically. So we'll see if that's how it goes. Anytime I see journalists taking pictures at this thing, it seems like a really small little meetup where it's like a couch and people are playing some games and stuff. But
it's like the YouTube studio stadium, wasn't it?
Well, the presentation was, but the actual event that would have been the E3 convention is a bunch of devs and journalists hanging out with snacks and drinks and stuff, playing a couple games. That's how it used to be with E3, but it was still a bigger area with more booths and stuff to be a little more hands-on with the devs and talk with them directly while you're playing their game. And then E3 turned into this huge thing where you could pay to get in, and so more and more people were showing up, and they kept the booths and stuff. But I know Jeff Keighley's whole thing is trying to be like the original, but it still doesn't seem like. It seems more like a hangout party than like an actual there's booths and stuff to do. So I don't know. I'm mixed on it though. I do agree and have seen for a while now that it would be like this. That after Sony bowed out basically and started doing their own thing, and Nintendo's doing their own thing. Really just started just becoming like Ubisoft is the only company that's like down to do whatever everybody else is doing. So it was inevitable anyway, but I do miss the grander scale of what E3 was. I don't know if we would still have it though. I'm just saying I miss that for sure. And I do like how they do it now, but it does feel a little less of a spectacle. It feels a little more lackluster. It is fun to see the individual presentations, but we were seeing this before, but they feel more like digital presentations and less like there's any kind of like spectacle you're trying to show to celebrate, what you're making, get people pumped for stuff. It's like the excitement factor is not there anymore, really. It's just like Jeff Keighley, who I like, presenting stuff. And then, you get like the Xbox presentation, stuff like that. So it just, it lacks the excitement factor for me. But I am somebody who always really liked E3. I liked going the one time I went. I thought it was awesome. So when people say they miss E3, me too. But it's interesting to see that talking point change, because for a while there, the more common thing you would hear is E3's over, E3's dead, E3 sucks. So I just that was fascinating. That shifted so much. But I can go either way though, because we are seeing the big game reveals, but it feels less connected. There's no connective tissue between all the different presentations. Nothing feels like it's like one big event. In fact, this year was like the first year in a long time that I kind of forgot it was happening. Like we watched State of Play and I'm like, oh yeah, Sony's got State of Play, cool. And then we watched that, and then like a couple days later I'd heard Summer Game Fest was coming. I was like, oh shit, is this that time of year? Like I completely forgot. And then other people were like, oh, Xbox thing's coming up, and it finally clicked. I was like, oh yeah, this is when E3 would have been happening. Completely forgot about that. So even in that alone, there was no anticipation building up to this like there used to be. I remember when E3 was coming every year, I'd be like, oh shit, dude, something could get announced here, and with this. And it also doesn't help too that Jeff Keighley, even though he was wrong, they did show off some stuff that nobody's seen before, but he was like, temper your expectations. Don't get too hopeful or too excited with this coming up. And I'm like, that's kind of kills the hype factor of it. But again, he kind of has to do that anyway, because people do just create realities in their head.
Unreasonable.
And then they get pissed off when you didn't do what they dreamt up.
Yeah.
So it's complicated, but yeah, I just want to get your thoughts on that real quick, because it's been an interesting thing kind of seeing that floating around recently. People, unsurprisingly, being unhappy with the current state of how this season happens now, but they were unhappy with how it was being done before too. So
Always.
Yeah, so it's That's what we do here. We look at the nuance of it, and there's somewhere in between probably that is the more reasonable place to be. But I get where they're coming from when they say they miss it. I do too. But yeah. All right. Well, unless you have anything else to say,
no.
Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about the current state of the E3 season? We'll call it that, as so we can all kind of have a understand what the hell we're even talking about here, or the Key 3 season, Summer Game Fest season. Do you like how it is now? Did you like how it was before? Do you like elements of both? Is there something you would like to replace this? Maybe there's you have an idea of maybe the way you would like this to be carried out every year. I'd be curious to hear your opinions on that. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so let's jump into what we've been playing. I'm pretty sure me and you both have pretty small lists, which is weird, since the last time we were on here. So how about you start us out with what games you've been playing?
Okay. Well, to get the real simple ones out of the way, I played the SpongeBob game that's on PlayStation Plus right now. Can't really talk about it because obviously we have to talk about that at the end of the month. I have not touched the other Plus games yet, or the game of the month.
I haven't touched Game of the Month either, but I figure one day we'll just put a bunch of time into it and beat that DLC.
I played a little bit of Stardew Valley. I am in winter of year 1. I forgot there's no crops there all winter, which makes sense, but my brain just wasn't thinking. So I've been leveling up my fishing during this season. Upgraded my house. Finally got a cow. That took a while. I, for some reason, was just kind of ignoring it there. So I can get milk now. I have 1 duck and 3 chickens. And I made the cave into the mushroom cave because it's consistent money, even though I was tempted to do the fruit bat cave. So
I don't know what that means.
there's a cave on your property.
Yeah.
And someone will, I can't remember his name, but he shows up and he's like a scientist type guy. And he's like, hey, I can like, change the, make an ecosystem in there basically. I just what do you want? Do you want mushrooms or do you want fruit bats? And I'm just like, mushrooms. So because they grow, you can grab them, you sell them basically. Versus like fruit bats, it's kind of the same thing. They'll just drop off random fruits, but there's no like, you don't know which ones you're going to get, and it's less often, I guess. So yeah, it's been fun. I beat the mine shaft, what I think is like 120 floors or whatever. So I'm done with that, so I can just use it for resource gathering now. And I have, I'm getting close to finishing a couple parts of the community center, but I haven't finished any of them completely yet. So I'm sure I'm not min-maxing if the way I could be to get that done faster, but I don't. That's not why I play that game. So.
Isn't that the objective of the game?
That is a objective of
Okay.
the game. You can also work for Jojo Mart instead.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
kinda like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Good and evil, quote unquote.
Yeah, I forgot they had that
type of thing. So, but yeah, it's been fun so far. I just kind of play it when I don't know what I want to do, and my brain's just kind of off. So I just go, I'll just go play that for a bit. So, yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, and then the game I have been just sinking hours into lately, due to a DLC coming out soon, is I've been playing Elden Ring again. I've been
I need to do that
with Chris. I started over, so I have to get to Moog again, but that's fine. I'm not really like in a rush, but I do want to like be somewhat close to the DLC launch when that happens. I went ahead and made a faith build this time, something I have not really put a lot of experience behind. My single player character was a int caster, so what's that, glintstone sorcery or whatever, and I liked it, but I prefer to play the game co-op, and the co-op is punishing because as soon as you unlock or you open up multiplayer, you get invaded. It's not like option. It's not like you might get invaded. No, you're gonna get.
Oh, are you playing like the legitimate game?
I am playing the mod, the multiplayer mod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which Steam still tracks that I'm playing it, so that's interesting. The only thing it's doing is bypassing basically like all the online check stuff, and I'm not using the online servers. The way it works instead is you have like it's basically a file in the folder that you put a password in. You have to. It's not optional. And then there are 4 items that are made up for the mod. One of them just opens your server up. One of them closes it, etc. So it's been fun. They've definitely nailed out some of the issues that it had originally. There used to be a pretty common bug where when you would both get on your horse, one person would just like be sitting in the air floating, and like they just like look like they're sitting and floating around all over the place. That happens sometimes still, but it's far less often now. You also used to not be able to do certain things together, so you'd like want to, like if you want to go to the round table, hold, right, which is you're gonna go a lot. You'd have to like disconnect, play single player, do that part, come back out of it, open the room back up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, now you can actually go together. So they've made some pretty big improvements to that. Scaling seems to be pretty good too, because we still die. So like, I mean, it's definitely easier because someone is tanking at times, but if the mobs hit you, you die. Like that doesn't change. So they did a good job scaling the damage and hit points and stuff. So, and we are 2 of the main bosses in. We've done a ton of the side content, but so we've done the castle there. I'm terrible with names, but the main castle there when you first start with the quote unquote first boss, was Godric, I think his name is. Maybe that's not it. I can't remember.
I think so. It's been a while since I haven't played it since like it came out.
Yeah,
so.
and then the mage school. We finished that one. We went over to do Radan in Caelid, and he's not there for us yet. So we skipped something, it feels like. So right now we are in the underground with the ants currently, cleaning that up. We just fought the boss down there. I guess there's two bosses, the hanging upside down guy and then the actual like draconic dude underneath the giant that's sitting in the throne, basically. So we did that, and then we stopped. We need to pick it back up. I think we still have to do the other underground part. I think it's called like Ansel or something like that. I'm terrible with the names, man. But the sparkly underground part instead of the cave-ish style one. But I'm having a lot of fun. That game, you know, it's funny like replaying through it again and like, you know, not being as surprised obviously because I've seen all this stuff before, but it's still just it's just such a good game that doing everything all over again is still good. So I don't know. They definitely struck gold making this game. And I read something recently where I think I had said that he still hasn't created what he thinks is his ultimate like fantasy masterpiece. Elden Ring's close, but it's not quite there. And I was just like, that's a wild thing to say because this game's huge. So
yeah, I wonder what that would even be.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I'm playing a lot. I'm going to play it more. I would like to be able to do the DLC. I'm also, you know, just kind of waiting for the Final Fantasy XIV expansion to come out. So those are my big plans right now.
Yeah, I need to hop back into Elden Ring just because I need to refamiliarize myself with the game and what I was even doing. Because I mean, I've beaten it, but I haven't played it since then. So I, you know, don't want to just hop into the DLC and hope like, yeah, I'll be fine. Like I, you know, haven't played in a while, so I need to hop on there. I don't think I have it installed right now. I should get it reinstalled. But yeah, that's cool. I want to try out that mod sometime, but now I just need to play that DLC. So, do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, so I have played the Plus games. I plan on playing all of them more, but I've played Streets of Rage 4. I would like to play that with somebody. SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake. I've played that. That's just definitely a platformer geared for kids, but I will have my opinions on Plus Club, so stay tuned for that. And then AEW Fight Forever, which I definitely have opinions on. We'll talk about those soon. I have not played Remnant 2 yet. Plan on doing that soon, hopefully, because we're already over halfway through the month. This month is just flying the fuck by. That'll be easy, though, because I mean, you guys already know how I feel about Remnant. If you follow the channel regularly, and if you don't, stay tuned, because we will be reviewing it at the end of the month, and I think it's going to be pretty obvious what I think of it. But yeah, our goal is to play through the newest DLC that came out, because we haven't played it. I played it a little bit. I didn't play it a whole lot, but yeah. I just wanted to go look at it, and I did, so that's about as far as I've gone. But I'm like maxed on my trait points and all sorts of stuff, so I think it's going to be probably a cakewalk, but we'll see. We will see. All right, so the game I have played for like the last week or two is the finals. It's like all I've been playing. Season 3 came out. I was preparing for Season 3. I shout out to Sarah, if you guys don't know, my girlfriend. She saw my reaction from when we watched, I think it was Summer Game Fest. Mm-hmm. And she told me, because I walked out and she had the finals page on Steam open. I was like, you going to play the finals? And she's like, I've never seen you that excited for a game on like a reaction before. And I was like, no, I've been excited for certain games, but like I just play the finals so much that she was like, you seem really excited for that. I'm like, I fucking am. So she downloaded it. We got her all the way through the battle pass, except for she got like halfway through the final piece of it. It's like 106 or something in like 3 days. So she grinded to like 81. Season 2, yeah. Before Season 3 came out. So she grinded through it. It was like the last couple days left of the season. At first, I even told her, I was like, don't buy the battle pass. You're probably not going to get that far into it. By the time we were done playing, she had gotten like 81. I was like, yeah, you should probably buy it. Like you're pretty far into it. But then she like, you know, we both got to work. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to play much more though. You know, by the time Season 3 comes out, I was like, can I play on your account? Because you need to finish that. Like I feel like you've got to like too far. I need to help you with that. So I played on her account for a little bit to try and finish it out. Like literally 5 minutes before Season 3 dropped, I was playing on her account trying to get that last thing. It's like, you need 40,000 XP still. I'm like, that's not happening. So I just like hopped off. But yeah, she knocked out Season 2's Battle Pass just in time for Season 3, so that was cool. And also, I'm stoked as a Finals player who, is concerned for the game because they have a dedicated fan base, dedicated community, but they're having problems getting new people to play the game. And so I'm going to remind anybody who's watching this right now, you should download the Finals. It's free to play. Check it out. See if you like it. But, she's a new player, so that's cool. Yeah, me, her, Cody, Josh have played off and on, and I've just been completely in it for like 2 weeks now. Season 3 has come out, though, and it is really good. So if you're not caught up with the Finals, in Season 3 they introduced a new map, which is Kyoto in like the 1500s, so it's like an old style like samurai era Kyoto map. It's super vertical, it's gigantic, it has like a forest in the north of it with like bamboo shoots, stuff like that, and then there's like ponds in the area that slow you down when you're running. There's a lot of launchers that launch you really high in the air to certain places, huge like Japanese castle style towers. The destruction on the map is completely different than the destruction of like the modern buildings in the other maps, because it's all like wood support structures and stuff. So if you break one, other ones start cracking and breaking and collapsing differently than like if you shoot a wall out in the earlier maps. You'd blow a hole, and then if you shot like the corners of the building, the support there would make the buildings collapse. So it's interesting that the architecture is different, and so the destruction's different. It's kind of a neat little detail. Also, the sliding paper doors that they have, you can shoot through those and then leave holes, so that's different. And also force light on fire, which is a whole new challenge for somebody who, me, plays a guy with a flamethrower, play heavy with a flamethrower, and I use charge and stuff often. So it's hazardous for me to play the way I do in the forest. But now that I know, I use it to my advantage, so I'll just like start lighting trees on fire if someone's out there. Yeah, so they added that map. They added a bunch of new cosmetics. That's what the Finals does, and they are the best cosmetics in first-person shooters, period. They're so good looking. And they added, for the heavy, in case you don't know, there's a heavy, medium, and light class. For heavies, they added the winch claw, which is going to change the meta of the game completely, because everybody right now is using melee weapons and winch claws now. But the winch claw, basically, you can throw and grab things, whether it's players, the cash out station, explodable barrels on the map. If your friends go down and they in the Finals, if you die, you turn to like a little like plastic trophy thing, and you can pick that up, run off, and revive them. You can use the winch claw to grab those now too and pull them to you. So it's completely changed a lot of things. I'm seeing just in like the first 3 days more and more people using those. They also added a spear, which has a lot of forward attacks, but then if you right click, you do kind of like an AoE where you swing all over the place in third person. It's kind of crazy, and more people are using that with a winch claw. So they definitely added some stuff there that I feel like they're probably gonna have to balance, because I see a lot of people complaining right now. I haven't played enough to think it's OP yet, but I do see a lot of people deciding that this is the most worthwhile heavy build in the game right now, and I would like to see a little bit more variety. Might be people just excited there's new stuff, but a lot of people are doing this. The medium has dual katanas that have a basic attack when you swing, and then have, if you hold right click, or whatever it is on console, I play on PC, you put your swords together, and when people shoot at you, you block the bullets, you take some damage, and you deflect some bullets. And if you aim the center of your two swords where you want those deflected bullets to go, they'll go there. I watched a video where a guy like killed a dude with a headshot because he was shooting at him and he aimed at his head while he was deflecting. So that's pretty cool. They feel a little underpowered, but maybe I'm just not seeing it in the right hands enough, because I watched that one video, I was like, that guy seemed like he knew what he's doing. When I use them, they didn't feel that powerful. When I watch most people use them, they don't seem that powerful, but they're a really, really cool idea. They didn't get the medium, didn't get a gadget or specialization, though, which is really weird. So I'm hoping they add something later in the season, because last season they were just adding stuff throughout the season. They played it really smart, and they kept me playing the whole season. The first season, I played the first 29 days, beat the battle pass, came back for like 2 events. That was it. Second season, I played the whole time. Yeah, and then Light got a recurve bow that you can shoot fairly fast if you just click the button, and if you hold it, you can shoot further, or not further, just do more damage, basically. It has a pretty substantial zoom in when you use ADS, so it's kind of a sniper rifle, but also kind of a carbine. It's really interesting. Just the projectiles move slower because obviously they're arrows. And then they got a like drill breach. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically a gun with a scope that you can shoot from long distance, hit a wall, it drills into the wall and explodes. And so a lot of people are kind of thinking like you could use this to breach walls to run through, or breach walls for your team to run through. But like in my brain, I'm like, you're a sniper, you can't hit anybody because they're on the building fighting, and you're probably just being useless, because I think snipers for the most part are super fucking useless in the finals. But now they can, from their perch, shoot a wall, blow it out, and now they can aim in the building. So they gave them long-range ability to blow open walls. I think that's smart. I've also seen it used in really creative ways, so it's a welcome addition, I think. And then, yeah, a bunch of cosmetics, like I said before. A lot of Japanese-themed stuff. The Battle Pass is full of like samurai stuff, ninja stuff, anime stuff, Power Rangers, chef stuff, sushi stuff. It's a really cool battle pass. I've liked most of the stuff I've unlocked so far. I think I'm like 30 something right now. I did that in about a day, so I'm definitely going to knock this thing out pretty quick. And they added World Tour, which is supposed to every like 12 days or something hop to different parts of the world and have different events happening, and you play that as its own challenges to get more XP outside of the weekly or dailies that you get. And then it's maintaining its challenge tiers that I had from last season. I forget exactly what they're called, but they're basically challenges. You get like 5 or 6 of them, and then in like a week or two, another thing will open up where you got challenges, and it's just a way to get more and more XP. And then if you finish those, you actually get cosmetics, which I really loved in season 2. So that's been cool. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I think it is the best first-person shooter competitively since Hunt Showdown, so take that as you will. I fucking love it. I think it's better than current COD by far, easily. It's better than current Battlefield by far. It's ex-Battlefield devs, so if that does anything for you, check it out. The destructibility is the best in a first-person shooter right now. And I can't wait to see what they do with Season 3, because it's a really good start so far. Huge change in meta now that they've added new stuff. The new map is awesome. I really like it. It feels very different than the other maps, and makes me think about the potential of what the next map after this will be, because it's like just so different feeling. Also worth mentioning, I don't know if there's any validity to this, but there was a map in Season 2 called like Synchronization or something like that, and the whole lore behind it is that it was supposed to be a certain city, but it never fully rendered because there's a hacking group in the game called CNS that hacked the finals, and so the game is the map is digital looking. Even when you shoot stuff, they don't crumble the same way as like the other maps. They like disappear because they're digital, and there's a lot of rumors that that's going to be revealed as its actual final form, basically, at some point in the season. Because in like an AMA, somebody asked like, I know it got hacked and we didn't get to see what the map's supposed to be because of the lore, but like what city is it supposed to be? And they're like, oh, we can't tell you. Like we don't want to reveal that yet. So it's like, what does that mean? Are you gonna render it, like fully render it? And if they do that, I hope they keep the original one too, just as a variant when you play it, so it gives like, different experiences every time you play. But I think that'd be really cool if they had like a 1.5 new maps this season or something. So yeah. Anything else in the finals? It's just really fucking good, and I'm really stoked that at least Cody plays it. Josh will play it sometimes. I know you'll play it sometimes.
Yeah. It's just not a priority for me.
Should get Chris to play it as well, and then I'm stoked that Sarah's playing it because she seems to be really into it, and she is a really good addition to me and Cody's composition because she likes to be a healer. She likes to play supporting games, and so she just heals me and Cody while we murder people and then gets us back up when we need it. So it's it's been a really good addition because neither of us want to play healer basically. So that's really cool. I don't think I have anything else.
All right.
Do you have anything else?
No. Just a wish list.
Well, let us know in the comments, what games have you guys been playing? What games are you planning on playing? Is there any games you think we should be playing? And yeah, let us know what you're thinking about in the comments below when it comes to just playing stuff. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos to watch. So this is gonna be a long sit, but it's probably good that what we've been playing was shorter. A lot of times we
rattle on for an hour.
What is going on here? Yeah, normally we talk for 40 minutes to an hour about what we've been playing, and so that'll give us time to watch all these videos. So a lot of these came out after Summer Game Fest, and we just didn't watch them. The first one is Killing Floor 3 gameplay trailer. I've been waiting to see this for a while. I'm a huge Killing Floor fan. I love Killing Floor 2. So Killing Floor 3 is obviously something I'm really excited to play, but everything I've seen on so far has only been little blips. But I saw the announcement trailer. I saw, I forgot what enemy it was, but one of the enemy reveal trailers, but I have not seen actual gameplay. So I'm really excited to see this. Any thoughts on Killing Floor before we watch this?
I mean, I'm not obviously as into it, but the little bit I played was fun enough. It can be a little much for me sometimes though, so but visually I think it's cool.
I just hope they up the ante even more, because what they did with Killing Floor 2 is still underappreciated. The physics when you kill people is amazing. The gore system's insane. I think the best thing I've seen since then was Dead Island 2, which is also slept on in terms of like what they did tech-wise. But the slow-mo, watching dudes' heads explode and shit when you're shooting them, it's such a satisfying shooter that I really hope Killing Floor 3 can up that ante. Also, they added later like intestine gore effects, where like the intestines had physics, so they would like fly and get stuck on like telephone poles and shit. So it's like they really were thinking about stuff. Oh, also blood effects. Blood would like hit the ceiling or like roll downstairs and stuff like that. Really crazy shit. So I don't even know how they can increase that in this one, but we'll see. So all right, this is Killing Floor 3 gameplay trailer. 3, 2, 1, go. Definitely looks better.
Who's ready for a bit of fun then?
Know him. This one almost looks a little more futuristic. That's cool. Definitely Killing Floor. Flamethrower, good. Zip lines. Hell yeah. Oh dude, I can't wait for this. Fucking drone. Oh no. It moves. All right.
This dude's got the Buster Sword for a nose.
True. Okay. Well, what do we think?
I mean, it's definitely on brand. It's, it has the hyper violence. It has the gross monsters with some new additions. Obviously, the blood was very liquidy on the ground, which was kind of gross, but I mean, it's supposed to be. And yeah, other than that, I don't have enough intimate knowledge to like comment on like gameplay stuff. But I mean, it looks like Killing Floor to me, but newer. So
100%. Also, it seems like there's like an emphasis on close quarters melee attacks, because like there was like melee weapons in the other games, but that he like stabbed that dude in the head or whatever, that feels new. And also like there's another scene too where like, well, I guess he's just swinging his weapon, but yeah, that feels different. It feels a little more intimate, but that's also probably trying to be up close so they can show you all the details. It definitely feels on brand. This looks like Killing Floor to me, like, which is great, because sometimes you get a sequel to a game and they'll try something new and it's like, nah, that's not what I wanted. But this definitely looks just like Killing Floor 2 with better graphics, very like evolved enemy types. I forgot what it's called, but the dude who had the stretching arms or whatever, that's completely new. That boss looks a lot cooler and a lot more imaginative than the bosses from Killing Floor 2. I'll give them that because they were kind of dorky. But the whole game's kind of dorky. But that one looked actually like kind of badass, which I liked. Enemy density seems like more. Seems like there's more enemies on screen, but that could just be to show off the game too. I don't know. I assume they could with the advancement of tech in computers and consoles to put more enemies on screen. But I mean, this looks about right. But they're also just kind of standing there too, so you can tell it's like for a presentation. They're showing off the gore effects, stuff like that. But it just seems like there's a lot going on, which I like. It also seems to be like an emphasis on, and it's a newer game. It's further in the future, I guess, but it looks like a little more sci-fi than the other games. The other games had like maps that felt sci-fi, but the game itself didn't feel futuristic. But a lot of the things in this look, it's a little more in the future, but like right there, the enemy density there seems way more than what we get in Killing Floor 2. The addition of drones is nice. That kind of tells me, I mean, it's probably just a class type, but more stuff to look forward to in terms of unlocks and a zip line. Zip line's always fun in games. I mean, sometimes it's just like, this is how you get down from this building, but in a game where you're like constantly running from things and shooting nonstop, zip lines are a lot of times kind of a saving grace. Like, if you're about to get killed, you jump on the zip line, you can get the hell away. So definitely a welcome addition. Other than that, though, we didn't see a lot. We just saw basically a confirmation going like, yeah, this is Killing Floor 3 and it's Killing Floor. You're going to play it. But I'd like to see some like uncut gameplay footage of someone playing to get a better idea. But this is day one for me. I'm going to buy this as soon as I can. So love the other games. I'll love this game. So and it's just looking better than ever. So yeah. Anything else you want to say? Let us know in the comments what you guys think about Killing Floor 3. Are you guys excited? You're not excited? What did you notice in this trailer maybe that we didn't? Oh, dude's climbing on ceilings. That's kind of crazy too. Yeah, what are you most excited for? Did you play Killing Floor 1 and 2? And what do you want from Killing Floor 3? Let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below when it comes to Killing Floor 3. Next video up is Path of Exile 2 keeps getting better. This is via IGN. It's a preview. Apparently they played it. They're going to talk about their thoughts on it. And this will be valuable for, I think, both of us because we both really like Path of Exile. We're both looking forward to Path of Exile 2. And, any more details on just what's coming with the sequel, I think, is something I want to know because I'm already sold. I'm going to play it. But, what is there? What's the new stuff that's making it better and better according to IGN? I think is something worth checking out. Anything you have to say on this?
I mean, I've seen a couple like little blips here and there of content coming out for this game as it's been developed. And every time I see a newer video, the game just looks better and better. So the title seems pretty appropriate to me. The last time I watched a clip from the game, it looked beautiful. So definitely looking forward to it.
Where did we see that? Was that Summer Game Fest?
I think
State of Play?
I think there's a blip of it in there, yeah.
Yeah, we saw it somewhere, and we were both like commenting on how good it looked.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at that time. Maybe it was Tastecast. I don't remember. I had played Diablo 4 and was overall unimpressed with it still. But it's a good-looking game for sure. And seeing that and then seeing Path of Exile, I was like, oh, okay, they're bringing it too. That's cool. So, yeah, definitely looking better and better.
Yeah.
Ready to watch this?
Yep.
All right, this is Path of Exile 2. Keeps getting better in 3, 2, 1, 8, go.
I've had the opportunity to play Path of Exile 2 several times throughout its development cycle, and there's one thought I had after my last session. This action RPG keeps getting better every time I play it. The first session I had the opportunity to join was a demo at Gamescom 2023. Grinding Gears' Jonathan Rogers took me through the Warrior and Druid class, and I also had the opportunity to wait in line and try out the Monk for the first time. As expected, I got my butt kicked, but that's par for the course. In early 2024, I had the chance to try out the Ranger, whose incredibly fun gameplay loop has you shooting lightning arrows and propagating little lightning storms of death across the screen. And more recently, I got to try out the Monk again and get some hands-on time with the Warrior, Sorceress, and Witch, all for the first time. Each of them feels unique, powerful, and interesting to play as. The Monk, once you get past the early leveling portions that have you whacking away at enemies with slow and methodical staff strikes, becomes a force to be reckoned with. You can dash in to weaken your enemies, get a few charges, and then annihilate the playing field with an incredibly powerful staff strike to the ground that sends ripples of energy that rip into the earth itself. And once I got the hang of this class's gameplay loop, I felt like I may have found another new favorite. But the majority of my time I found myself playing as the Witch, who was one of the first classes I enjoyed in the original Path of Exile. In the sequel, the Witch starts out as a corpse-reviving menace who chooses what abilities these minions wield, and can even command them to do unique attacks to great effect. The Unearth skill gem, for instance, will create spikes of bone that travel from the earth in front of you, doing a bit of damage, but these will also raise the bones of corpses as short-lived construct minions. You'll then start unlocking skill gems like Skeletal Warrior, Skeletal Sniper, and Skeletal Arsonist. Because you'll only have a set amount of spirit early on, you'll only be able to choose one of those to get started. The Skeletal Arsonist is the option I picked, as it has the unique ability to explode any low-life minion in your pack. And not only is that very cool, but it also does a ton of damage to packs of enemies or bosses that weaken your minions to explosion status. Later, when I unlocked Bone Cage and Contagion, I was able to further expand my toolkit to create a trap for enemies, hit them with Contagion, and then watch it propagate across enemies, killing
the animations in general are really good.
Even at early levels, these builds feel very fun to use and execute, and I found myself grinning from ear to ear the entire time I played as the Witch. In addition, Grinding Gear Games gave us a sneak peek at some later game builds, and while they are interesting, I just wanted to briefly say that the gigantic skeleton that is erected by a sorcerer looks so freaking cool. Path of Exile 2 continues to surprise me with designs that are either creepy or look like they jump straight off the cover of a heavy metal album and into the game. I'm at the point where I don't need to see any more, I just want to play more.
That.
The other class that I spent a significant amount of time with for the first time was the Monk. The build-up to your more powerful attacks takes a bit of time, but somehow the Monk really surprised me. You start out with a methodical smack to the enemies you'll face, but once you start getting your skill gem combat kit together, the class gets really fun and powerful very fast. Near the end of my demo, I had the Tempest Bell skill gem that will drop a massive bell onto the battlefield. When struck with any elemental ailments, including my Frozen Locust AoE damage, it would create an elemental shockwave and deal extra freeze damage to anything in the vicinity. But my favorite combo included Killing Palm and Staggering Palm, which let me zip into battle with a Staggering Palm strike, drop a Frozen Locust into a group of enemies, attack the bell, and finish off anyone left over with the Killing Palm strike.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That Killing Palm final blow would then give me a powered charge that can stack up to 3 times. Once powered up, you could execute Falling Thunder and create a ripple of damage that tore across the map and obliterated anything that got in the way. That sounds like a bit of setup, and it can be, but the reward makes it so fun to pull off time and time again. This surprisingly fun gameplay loop seems to be present for each class I've played so far. While there are still my personal favorites, having taken some time to try out the Sorceress and Warrior at an event the next day, I think that 5 seconds of fun is going to be there for all the classes. I keep finding myself grinning as I learn how that introductory skill gem build synergizes together in a way that's hard not to love. More generally, Grinding Gear Games confirmed that they've tweaked the gameplay of those introductory moments so that they're more enjoyable for players to learn the game in the beginner areas. And I have to say that the power progression is feeling particularly great at this moment in time. And that adjustment is going to go a long way for Path of Exile 2 because the developers just revealed that couch co-op will be an option for players in the same household. Cool. I tried about an hour of this, and it definitely is going to be a big selling point for anyone in the same household who wants to jump into a game and level up together. The only slightly disorienting aspect to this was the inventory menu that takes up a large portion of the screen, so hopefully your teammate isn't bringing it up during combat too often, but otherwise it feels pretty seamless. A few classes are still yet to be officially revealed, but Path of Exile 2 continues to impress me every single time I get some hands-on time with it. The Ranger demo got me to roll a Ranger in the new season of Path of Exile on PC. The Monk in Path of Exile 2 surprised me as it became very powerful so early on, and it made me want to try out all the other classes to see if I'd be surprised in the same pleasant way. Path of Exile 2 will likely have a few more pre-release reveals before launch, but I am ready to dive in right now.
Yeah, I want to know all the classes.
And based on what I've played over the last several months, this is shaping up to be a game you should not miss. We'll find out for sure when Path of Exile 2 goes into closed beta later this year. For more on Path of Exile, check out my Ranger preview, and for more on all things gaming, keep it right here on Up.
The one I just
Levels to my melee skill gems, and most importantly, gave me 2 mana per enemy. Anyone who plays a lot of ARPGs knows how good it feels to have something that works for your class after you've played it. I've had the opportunity to play Path of Exile 2.
All right, so that was Path of Exile 2. Keeps getting better. What do we think?
I mean, it looks dope. I'm already like a fan of the genre anyways, and watching, and I was not a regular PoE player. I just revisit from time to time, struggle to catch up on all the new systems and stuff like that, but the gameplay itself has always been good. I think, like most RPGs in general, the beginning games, something you just have to be patient with because you don't have any moves yet. You just kind of do one thing and you kind of unga bunga your way through some levels, and then you finally get some skills and you can start creating synergies and stuff like that. So he had mentioned they'd kind of taken into consideration early game, which is good because a better chance for maybe people who aren't players of ARPGs to get interested earlier and maybe stick around for it too, especially because PoE is a service game. So, but yeah, the game I think looks better. The animations are really nice. The effects are really nice. I can't wait to see what kind of cosmetics to come up with because it's something they're really good about in PoE as well. No, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully they can have enough of a hook on me that I won't take as many and as long of breaks as I did with the original PoE. So.
Yeah, I think they learned a lot of lessons from the original PoE because I remember when we first played it when it first came out, we got to the end of the content and it was like unfinished. You just like got to that boss beat and then you couldn't go any further.
Yeah.
And then eventually a thing would pop up and be like, oh, you've reached the end of the game. You can just keep exploring if you want.
Yeah.
And then later they added more. And, it is what it is now. And there's a lot of game there now. But because the game was kind of unfolding over time and being made by such a small team at the time, I don't know how big the team is now, there were earlier on a lot of reasons to keep taking breaks from it. And then when you come back, especially if you take long enough of a break, they've introduced like this new system. You come in and you're like, what am I supposed to be doing? Where do I go? What was I doing before? And it felt like, really, there's just like a lot to it. And, I came back and played many, many times, and I haven't played it in a while, but every time I do play Path of Exile, I fucking love it. I think it's definitely one of the best RPGs out there. So this is looking like that, but obviously better graphics, better animations. I think the style is better. I think the effect design, not just the graphics, the design is much better than the first game. But it's been a while. The first game came out a while ago and was made by a really small team. And, I'm one of those people who always, jokingly thinks that this is like the true sequel to Diablo 2 because it had, more of a darker visual style than Diablo 3 did. This game also looks dark as shit, while, being really crispy looking, really nice looking. But and it's nice too because like Diablo 4 went back to being dark, but it's just interesting when Diablo 3 came out. I was like, that's so fucking colorful. What the hell? And then Path of Exile comes out. I'm like, this is so oppressive looking. It's so like this world is horrible looking in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely bringing that to life more. The classes they showed off was the monk and what was the other one? Witch. And it sounds like the witch is kind of a mix of like a necromancer and like a caster, which is kind of cool. That move that sent spikes or whatever, but then also brought things back to life if it hit them.
Temporary golems, yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I like that. It sounds like a hybrid, which is something I would like because, you only do Necromancer so many times in ARPGs. You kill things, you raise them, they run around, kill things for you. That's fine. It's a staple. But for somebody to think of, some minor tweaks to do something to that, I think is good. The monk is also cool because, here I am thinking like a monk from like Diablo 3 or like a monk from Final Fantasy 14 or, anything. Monk's just punching and doing martial arts, which I'm down for. I like monks in games. But in this, he's using a weapon, which is cool.
Yeah.
But then also he's doing like energy moves. I really love the animation. It seems like it's different every time too. When it hits the ground, it like burns to the ground and leaves marks, and they slowly go away, which is really smart design. Really like that. And then the bell thing is really interesting too, because not that I'm gonna keep bringing up Diablo, but like Diablo 3 had a monk, and like he had moves where like a bell would show up and go boom and then disappear basically. Or am I thinking of a different game? But anyway, I've seen monks do stuff like that in games before, but to have one like sit there they actually have to hit to do anything with, I think is kind of a cool design. I don't know if it's going to be a move that everybody's going to go to when the game comes out, because we'll see when we find out. But it is a cool idea that you have to interact with it. It gives you more gameplay, more things to do during combat than just like click and kill stuff. So I'm excited for that. It's at least thinking outside the box, which I like. And then the same screen co-op I think is really great, because I never expected them to do that, and here they are doing it. So even more reason for people to try the game out, especially if they're like, I might play when I get home, blah, blah, blah. But while you're hanging out, no, just play it right now and check it out. See if you like it.
Well, especially for console.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But even on PC, if somebody was like, there with you and they wanted to play on the same screen, or, you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and you guys want to play together, like you can do that. So it's just better to have that than not. So really like that. But overall, I'm really excited for Path of Exile 2. This does look better and better every time I see it. And I just want to see more on the classes. But honestly, I just want to play it. So I'm at that point. I don't really need to see more on it, but I will when they show more. So, yeah, can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I want to see Sorceress.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see everything. I want to see all the classes. So the Ranger did look kind of... I'm never into stuff like that in RPGs, though, like the crossbow guy or the fucking bow guy. I like archers in like MMOs usually, or like turn-based games. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in ARPGs I usually go for casters. Yeah, I don't like melee users, but yeah. Let us know in the comments though what you guys think of this preview of Path of Exile 2. What's your thoughts on it? What do you think about the monk? What do you think about the witch? What do you think about the visual style, graphics, same screen co-op? What classes are you hoping for? Which ones do you want to see more of? I don't know if they've confirmed anywhere out there what's coming or not. So if that info is out there, let me know. I have no idea. And what are you hoping for in general when it comes to Path of Exile 2? And have you played Path of Exile? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below what you think about all this stuff. And we'll move on to the next trailer, which is Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail official launch trailer. Now this comes out soon, right?
Yeah, a week after the Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah. So they're getting everybody pumped, getting them ready for Dawntrail. Sadly, I'm not caught up, so I don't know what they're going to be really showing here a whole lot. But Chevy is caught up, right, fully, and you're ready to play. So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna see if it does anything for us hype-wise. You've watched this.
I have watched.
I haven't watched this, so.
Yeah, this is basically a story trailer. It also is in game versus like previous ones were CG cutscene, marketing trailers. This one also will give you kind of a peek into the graphics update of the game as well, which is cool. Nice. So
I am interested in that. So, all right, we'll watch this. This is Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail official launch trailer in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Well, for once, the fate of the world doesn't rest on our shoulders. We might even get a chance to enjoy ourselves.
Do not be so quick to relax.
Join
Just wait, Papa. When this contest is said and done, it'll be your daughter who sits the throne. Me, Woklamat.
And so does our ship cast off from the docks. In retrospect, of course, that battle against the storm would prove a fitting prelude to the coming contest for the throne.
I just feel like game drift.
Juicy move. The juicy cactus.
He's buff.
You four will compete in the right of succession. The outcome of which will decide who takes my place as Dawn Serpent.
We are blessed siblings, the elevated chosen.
Our nation can change for the better.
I am bound to no one.
Woklamat, protector of peace and soon to be Dawn servant.
A waste of time. I can always take what I need later.
Our nation is a fortress, and its people the bricks with which it is built. It is through embracing innovation that we will usher Tuli Yolal onto a more prosperous future.
Its people lived as gods.
Final Fantasy without some techie stuff.
Never aging, never dying. Free from hardship and conflict.
Booties, dude.
All this time, it was here, the city of gold.
A golden light. Could it be?
Much about the key remains shrouded in mystery.
What in the world is that?
What is this relic of theirs? Who made it? And to what end?
I will be the next Dawn servant, and I'll protect my people's happiness to the last.
Same.
With your strength, could you have held fast to that which is dear
There's spoilers that are happening.
without
The
sacrifice?
whole trailer, but it's out of context for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
The whole thing. All right. Well, as somebody who is not caught up but plays 14 every once in a while, I really liked, first off, there's a lot of voice acting. I hear that there's a lot of voice acting later in the game.
Yes.
So it feels like a much more modern and official story trailer because, you know, it brings out more than just, you know, seeing words on the screen or whatever. The setting, I think, is cool because it feels so different than what I've experienced in 14 so far. It also feels like a fresh start. We've talked about this before when we've covered this moving forward, but it does feel like the beginning of a new story, which I kind of dig. It almost feels like a new game coming out, like you kind of mentioned. Like, obviously, it's just an expansion, but it does feel like this could be like a standalone RPG coming out or something like that. So it's kind of interesting. I like the setting because it's like super colorful and tropical feeling, and it's just got a different vibe to it. But also, half of the end of the trailer is like all this sci-fi looking tech area that felt completely different. So that kind of shows that there'll be some variety here in the game. Also, I don't know if it's just the updated graphics or not, but the environments look fuller than I'm used to with 14. The grass and foliage is a lot more dense, and it's just nicer to look at. The waterfalls in the background that we saw earlier and stuff like that. It's definitely a cooler looking environment. And hopefully, did they update earlier areas too?
It'll be in pieces.
Okay.
As they roll stuff out slowly. So
yeah, but obviously it's a newer area. It's the newest part of the game, so of course it's gonna look the best, and it does. So I'm intrigued by all the stuff I don't have any context for, like these characters and the weird fish lizard people that are talking. A lot of Dawn references, so obviously there's something there to the name, and yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't have much pinpoint context to really be like, this part looks fucking awesome, but I do really like the way it looks. I like the setting, so.
Yeah, so the basic like premise to start this story is that the gal with the axe comes and like basically is like, I'm gonna participate in this contest. My father is basically not gonna be the ruler anymore, so there's a contest to be the next ruler. I want to participate, but you need people to back you up. So they came. They heard your name has traveled across the ocean, basically.
Okay.
They came to get you, and you're like, well, I ain't doing it right now, and I'm an adventurer, so let's go. So, because like everything's calmed down, and you don't stay idle. Like a lot of the patch content from the end of Endwalker to the beginning of this is you basically looking for adventures, still, and
okay.
there is an adventure that happens in there with some story cleanup, but yeah, you've saved everything. It's not just the world, but yeah.
Yeah, I was curious on why you're even going to this island in the first place, but
yep, you were asked to. That's pretty much it, and in a sense of adventure, and then I'm sure a story will unfold.
Yeah, for
while
sure.
You're there.
That just seems like early story to build towards something like an event. There's talking about like who's going to lead a nation and stuff like that. So it seems like there's a whole new area of people in politics and things that will take place. So
yeah, and I also love the like Southern America look it has going on through the whole thing. But then it goes into like the Allegan stuff, which has been present in the game, the whole time. It also confirms that there's Allegan tech on other continents as well. I think the raid series is in that like techie thing or techie zones. My English is great right now, but it looks like an arena, like there's an audience and everything, and so look, you might be participating in like a tournament for the raid
that's what
series.
it felt like. It kind of seemed like.
So, yeah, and then just some little side things because they just did a live letter kind of showing off some of the new stuff. One of the new mounts is just some wings that you have on your character, so you can like fly around like that. In fact, I think it's those wings.
Okay, interesting.
And then a bunch of new minions like they always do. They showed off a few of the dungeons. They don't show it too much because they don't want to spoil it, obviously. But they'll like Yoshi P will like go up to the boss, let the boss go through like the very beginning phase, and he'll usually like jump off the arena or whatever and be like, okay, that's what you get. like a little teaser basically. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Also, they're kind of boasting right now that by 7.2, because this will be 7.0 when this comes out, the game will have 50% more content than 6.2 did last expansion. So a lot fuller of a game, which was
quite a bit. Yeah.
Biggest complaint of Endwalker was you ran out of stuff to do every patch really fast. So.
And you were saying that was because of the whole pandemic
it was developed
situation
during COVID. Yeah, because it takes 2 years to develop stuff in this game. So, so yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. A new story will be fun. We've done the Warrior Light story for 10 years, and that's concluded now. So
it's weird how 10-year stories are all concluding right now, because I know Destiny 2's 10-year story just concluded, and people are actually really happy with it, which is good to hear.
That's good to hear.
That's because that's kind of hard to do. But
it was kind of scary even like playing through Endwalker a little bit, because there are parts where I was like, oh, this is the type of thing that can screw up a story, and then they did it just fine in my opinion. So I think it was a satisfying conclusion. So
Yeah, so we're just be at the point in gaming where a lot of these games that started like, we got 10-year plans, we're like at the 10-year mark, and it's like they're all ending. I'm like, oh, okay, you guys all did it. Cool.
Right. So
I think Siege is getting towards like, it's not the same kind of game, but like Siege, they were like, this is like a 10-year game, and we have like 500 characters we want to add. And then the last time I played it, they had like 500 characters. I was like, what the fuck, dude? You guys actually did this? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's just weird to see it all come to fruition, but this game's got to keep going. So, and luckily, it's doing a lot better than their last MMO, 11. So they still make stuff for that though, right?
They still run the server. They did pull out the old PS2 dev kits, and they did make a series of updates recently for, I think it's 20-year anniversary or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, the game's running on a skeleton crew. Though,
yeah, that makes sense.
They keep getting asked, like recently during the media tour, someone asked Yoshi if there was any plans to make a like single subscription that you could have both games on, and they said they've thought about it and they'd like to do it, but because of Final Fantasy XI's payment system being completely different from where Square's at now, it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
Like not even just tech-wise, but like legally in a lot of places. So they're not against it, but they don't know how to do it yet. So,
yeah.
Which I would pay for, honestly, because I would occasionally play it, but I can't like fathom constantly paying for it because I'm just not really going to be playing it that often. So
yeah. But yeah, this game has been out for a while now, and luckily there's enough people playing it and are still invested in it for them to keep continuing to
still
support it and make fresh content that's upgrading the game. 11 didn't really get the same kind of treatment because I don't think it ever was this popular, right?
No, not this big.
Yeah, so it's good to see that it's healthy enough for them to continue because, I mean, in the current climate for MMOs in general, it's good to see any of them still kind of going. I mean, WoW's trucking along. Mm-hmm. It's going to keep trucking for a long time. But
sure.
A lot of them out there, like, I think, what is it? Guild Wars 2 has a expansion coming out soon too. So I'm like, that's cool. You guys are still going? Because I haven't played that game since the last expansion came out. So, yeah, pretty cool.
And these people like trying to make them, but they're just not being managed very well. So
they're not being managed well, and people have to recognize when you jump into a brand new MMO that it has not been out the same amount of years as the MMO you're used to playing. So when people are like, it doesn't have this and that, it's like, yeah, but the game you're referencing has been out for like 40 years, and you've been playing it for a long time, and they've had time to get there. So it's like, if you do even like where this MMO is starting and it's lacking some content you're looking for, you should still support it so they get the chance to build it up into something. So I'm glad to see that New World is still getting content, even though I haven't played it in a while. But that game had a cool foundation. Just with a lot of the Amazon games had some mismanagement, I think. And so I hope it does turn into something great. So, but yeah, anyway, 14 is still trucking along and still doing good. And it seems like they're doing a great job at keeping content flowing that's not just like repetitive bullshit, but like actually exciting stuff. So, and this looks really cool in my opinion. So, anything else?
Look forward to playing it in less than a month.
Someday I will play it.
I would love for you to at the very least beat Endwalker.
Yeah.
Because then you could, because like I've said this before, but my favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 14 because I was on that fence with that. I needed that story to conclude, to like be concrete on that, and then the story ended, and I was like, yeah, no, that was phenomenal. So
yeah, no, it's cool to hear. It's definitely one of the reasons I do actually want to finish at some point, because I've heard quite a bit of people actually praise it. So I'm just like, oh, okay, that's weird. And as a Final Fantasy fan, I like Final Fantasy. For people to say that it's like one of the best Final Fantasies, if not the best, I'm like, that's kind of crazy, because it's an MMO. Like, you don't expect an MMO to have a story that good, I guess. I guess maybe people who play WoW or diehards of WoW would maybe argue otherwise. But yeah, I don't play MMOs for the stories typically, because there's not portrayed good enough in terms of like, what a AAA game, like single player game can tell
for
stories
sure. Well,
wise. So
MMOs are usually set up to be full of lore and little stories to keep unfolding lore, versus like 14 is treated like a single player game that has MMO stuff to do.
It's also tricky to tell a story for you when you is many people all having the same story basically, and so you can't tell the same stories if like I made a story about Nathan Drake or something. Like, you know, it's a little tougher to be like, I mean, this, you're like, you're the warrior of light, and then you got to tell a story with that, and they do a good job. But like other games, it's just like, you're the chosen one, and it's like they don't get, they just have to tell you a story to keep you playing, basically. Like, they don't try that hard. So
14 definitely tried, because there are lore implications on like why you play with other warriors of light at certain points in the game too.
That's
which
cool.
is, they didn't even have to do that, and they did. So
yeah, that would be tricky, but if they nailed it, that's good to hear. So
yeah.
All right, well, anything else?
Nope.
All right, let us know in the comments, what do you guys think of Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail official launch trailer? Are you guys excited, not excited? Are you playing Final Fantasy XIV? Have you played in the past at all? Are you playing it actively and you're ready for this to come out? And what are you most excited about when it comes to Dawntrail? What are you hoping for from it? And what job are you most excited for? All that stuff. Let me know in the comments below. And we'll move on to the next video, which is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater official game overview featuring David Hayter. I'm still mixed on this because it's Konami, and Konami hasn't proven shit to me. Anytime I say anything about a Konami game that's coming up soon, people are like, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is Metal Gear Solid. I don't know, man. This is Silent Hill. I'm like, yeah, from Konami, who fucked us over a long time ago and have not proven themselves yet. So, like, I can't blindly trust them. That's stupid, in my opinion. So, anyway, with all that said, rant kind of out of the way, I'm curious about this because Metal Gear Solid is my favorite series of all time, all of them. You know, I love Metal Gear Solid 3. I would love a great remake, but I don't trust Konami. I don't know who directly is working on this. I don't know if they will give a shit about Kojima's touch, his legacy of his games, and if they will be able to capture that. But the last video we did watch that showed actual gameplay, I was actually impressed by, because it seemed exactly like the original game when it came to the camera angles, the animations. I think it's a little safe to do it that way, but I'd rather you do it that way than fuck it up.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining. It's an observation. My only thing about it is the style was not like Metal Gear Solid. It looked hyper realistic, and that's fine. It's fine. It's a remake. I'm not somebody who thinks that, you know, if you do a remake, it's going to erase the older game. I can always go back and play the best, you know, the better versions of the game. But if you're going to do it, I hope you do it well. It looked cool. I am curious about it now. So with this, it's an overview. It's got David Hayter in it, which people keep commenting like, oh, David Hayter's coming back, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he did kind of get ousted from 5 from Kojima, which was kind of fucked up. But I'm sure he's just excited to be involved with Metal Gear Solid again. So I'm happy for him. But again, he's working directly with Konami. I don't trust Konami. So all that said, though, really curious about this. Do you have any thoughts?
Nope, because I've never played the game. I watched you play parts. I don't think I've seen this game from beginning to end. So
it's so good.
Though I have seen 4 a couple times now because of you. So
I love 4 too, and I wish there's a way for me to play it without having a PS3.
Yeah.
So depressing. Because the game is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that like PS3, basically those games have to be remade because they won't exist otherwise.
Yeah, a lot of people are hoping that the Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2 will have Metal Gear Solid 4 on it. And I also hope that it'll be on there, but I don't think it's gonna. Like, they have not been able to bring that to anything. Anything for PS3. They can't do it. Like, it's fucking annoying. So, I don't...
Yeah, that cell chip really screwed things up.
Yeah, it's crazy. And apparently making an emulator for that is tough too. So, although I do think you can play PS3 games on their streaming service.
Yeah,
I don't use it. That's why I
sure,
don't
to be
know.
honest,
but I'm pretty sure you can. And so there's a way to do it that way. But that's basically their emulator streaming from, you know, their proprietary shit. So kind of makes sense. But it sucks they haven't found a way to make that work on PS5s and shit. But
yeah.
Anyway, we should watch this.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. This is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater official game overview. In 3, 2, 1, go.
What does it take for a remake to become truly legendary? I think you're gonna like what you find.
Remaking a beloved classic is like sneaking into a secret weapons facility. One little misstep could mean disaster. You have to keep everything that fans love: the story, characters, gameplay, music, and of course, voice acting. But at the same time, enhance it for modern audiences. Not an easy job. So let's dive deeper, and what better place to start than the completely overhauled look. Delta is built in Unreal Engine 5 to achieve an unbelievable level of detail. All the iconic characters are better than ever, with completely revamped models. Snake is brought to life with extreme realism, incorporating minute details like wrinkles and pores, and even separating the eye and iris, all of which allows us to create visually richer characters. We've also upgraded the battle damage system. Tears, bruises, and bullet holes mar Snake in real time, telling the story of each player's unique gameplay choices. The injuries on your body remain throughout your journey. And the rest of the iconic characters, like the boss, return in style. While retaining the original landscape, the thick vegetation of the jungles, forests, and swamps have been completely remade with cutting-edge detail. Every inch of the world has been rebuilt to make the Cold War look beautiful, at least as beautiful as it can be, as you sneak into the jungle. Just make sure to pick the right gear for the job and use your highly advanced stealth training.
Classic. Apparently you're going to be able to place third person, but also in the original perspective too, which is kind of cool.
Metal Gear Solid 3 took gaming to a new level of cinematic storytelling. Delta breathes new life into every cutscene with dynamic lighting, detailed facial animation, and improved sound design. Yet it remains completely faithful, shot for shot, and with nearly all of the original voice acting.
Sick.
Even for longtime fans, watching these updated scenes is like experiencing them for the first time. Commencing.
That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, this is like the exact same camera angle, so they're definitely just like recreating it one for one.
So, I know what you probably want to hear the most about. How does the game play? Whether you're old school or playing for the first time, Delta has the best of both worlds. With Legacy style, the game plays like the original, with similar overhead camera and controls. But if you're used to modern shooters, we offer new style, with a controllable third-person camera. Both options maintain that trademark.
And that's how I'm probably gonna play it the first time. I've played the original so many times.
This is the game you remember, but massively upgraded. I also have some intel to share. Starting today, you can pre-order MGS Delta at retail partners in the Americas, UK, and EU. For fans looking for something special, there are also these incredible collector's editions available in the Americas. I'm joined by special guest producer Noriaki Okamura. Okamura-san, thank you so much for joining us. So please tell us a little bit about your role on this project.
30年以上コナミで働いてます。で、入社当時はポリスノーツというタイトルをやってました。で、メタルギア関係もいくつか参加してて、ポータブルオプスとかバンドデシネは私が直接プロデュースしたタイトルです。で、マスターコレクション今回デルタ、これに関してはですね、メタルギアとしては10年ぶり以上のプロデュース作品になります。
Are there any original Metal Gear staff left on Delta and the Master Collection? And what made you come back to the project?
僕も含めてですね、当時から引き続いてメタルギアの制作に関わっている人間というのはもちろん多いんですけど、当然辞められた方ということも多いです。で、関わっておられない方々についてはですね、もちろん新しい場所で活躍をされていらっしゃるので、今回の作品に関わられるということはありません。そんな状況でもなんで やるようにしたのかということなんですけど、これについてはもともとも若い世代がですねたくさん出てきていて、ネットの中でももうメタルギアって何っていう知らないよっていう方が多くなってきたんですよね。オリジナルのねスタッフの方々が作られたメタルギア、これを後世に残していくということが僕たちの使命だというふうには思っているんですね。それがメタルギアをまた始めようと思った理由になります。
How did you settle on these games, Delta and the Master Collection?
ですね、マスターコレクションの制作の経緯からまずお話しますと、数年前にですねメタルギアのストアからですね、実はメタルギアって結構いろいろなものが取り下げられているんですね。でこうなった理由っていうのが、いわゆるもう結構昔何十年も前のゲームなので、特にその映像の権利回り、実写映像とかの権利回りでこのまま、出し続けることはできないっていう、そういった状況になったことがあったんです。で、もちろんですね早く出し直してくれっていうファンの方々の要望がものすごく多かったので、なんとか我々も頑張ってたんですけど、どうせ出し直すんだったらその昔のハードで出し直しても、今の人たち遊べなくなっちゃうので、なので、やっぱり、今お客さんの手元にあるハードでやっぱ出し直しをするべきだというふうに思ってます。これがマスターコレクションプロジェクトが発足した経緯ですね。で発売した時に、バグとかですね、操作性の不備とか解像度問題、いろいろな問題で、結構厳しいご意見をいただくということになってしまった経緯があります。これは本当に申し訳ないと思ってます。でこれらの問題については、今も対応を続けていて、まだ続けている最中なんですけどやってます。で、この先ですね10年20年経っても、メタルギア遊び続けていただきたいので、そういったものにしたいということで、今も作業しているので、すいません、もう少しお時間をいただきたいなと思ってます。で次にメタルギアソリッドデルタの方の経緯ですけど、こちらはもともと2D から 3D になって、映画の表現力っていうのは変わっていってるわけですね。でメタルギアに関しても最初はドット絵の 2D のゲームだったものが 3D になり、もう映画のような表現力を備えたものになっていった。逆に言うとそのメタルギアの歴史っていうのはそのままビデオゲームの歴史なんじゃないかなっていうふうに思ってるんですね。なので、マスターコレクションというのは、ある意味それを追体験、ゲームの進化を追体験していただきたいというふうなそんな形で思ってますので、これは逆に、昔からのまま出すことが意味があるというふうに思ってます。なのでこれは過度にいろいろ変えたりしないでですね、ドット絵はドット絵のまま、3D の粗いグラフィックは粗いグラフィックのままで出すべきだって僕は思ってます。でただ当然のことながらその若い世代のお客様がたくさん増えてきている中で、昔のゲームをそのまま出してそれでいいのかっていうのもあると思います。でそういった意味で、メタルギアに関してもそのゲームの内容とかシナリオ、あとは、キャスト声とかですね、そういったものはこれは手を加えることなく、今のグラフィックの基準であるとかですね、操作性にも関しても今変わってきているので、そういった部分だけを変えて、でも、ゲームそのもののゲーム性、オリジナルスタッフの方々のクリエイティビティの部分、ここに関しては変えないっていうふうにする、そういったシリーズもやっぱりこれは必要だろうというふうに思いました。デルタを作ったのはそういった意味ですね。でメタルギアサーガー壮大です。こちらの方の新たに触れる最初の遺作は何だろうなと思ったんですけど、やっぱスネークイーターが一番最適なのじゃないかなと思ってこういった形にしました。
Anything else you want to share with the fans?
そうですね。メタルギアの再始動を始めた我々の新しいチームもですね、これをもう本当にこの先メタルギアを託すにふさわしいチームかどうかっていうことはこれはもうファンの皆様がどうか厳しい目で見定めていただきたいと思ってます。
Thank you so much, Okamura-san. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Since its release, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater has defined itself as one of the most influential and impactful video games of all time. With Delta, fans can expect an unbelievably detailed update to this classic. Both newcomers and longtime players alike can experience this masterpiece like never before.
Obviously, it's Space Marine, but it's definitely
this is the definitive,
newer game.
once-in-a-generation remake you don't want to miss.
Yeah, I mean, this one I'm going to pick up Silent Hill 2 as well,
Yeah,
but this one I'm definitely going to pick up because at the very least it's just going to be Metal Gear Solid 3 with better graphics. So I feel like it's pretty safe. It seems like their philosophy is at the base and minimum what I want from them, which is just like, we don't want to fuck with it too much. We just want to make it look nicer. And we're going to give you the option to play it how you're used to playing it if you played it originally, or, you know, how basically Metal Gear Solid 5 played, which I think was really fun to play, but not the best Metal Gear Solid otherwise. But other than that, though, I mean, they're keeping the cutscenes, they're keeping the voice acting, they're keeping all the stuff that people are going to be really critical about. So just making the graphics look nicer. So I think it's safe as long as they, you know, if there's nothing they're hiding, if it launches without problems, I think it'll be good. Silent Hill 2, they're making changes with it, but that last preview was pretty interesting to me. So that one, I am curious to see what their vision is. This one, I'm just like, I feel like they're going to do it. I feel like they're going to do a good job at it. At the very least, too, if you don't like this version, you just go back and play the original. It's still going to be fucking phenomenal. But I did kind of feel what they're saying about, like, you know, every year there's new gamers. Constantly, there's always new gamers. And a lot of them are getting to the point where they're like, I don't know what that is anymore. I mean, I'm like making videos on TikTok, and I have like a lot of younger people commenting or messaging me about games, and a lot of these games that I think are like legendary, I get asked all the time. People are like, is that good game? Should I go back and play that? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? What? You didn't play this shit? Like, yeah, go play it. But you know, that's me being a fucking boomer. Yeah. So when they are saying, like, you know, our brand is kind of becoming irrelevant to newer gamers, I'm like, yeah, honestly, because I'm seeing that too with a lot of games. So it makes sense. Also, I don't know how the fuck Konami still exists.
They make arcade and casino machines.
I get that, but like, how the hell is that a sustainable? How'd that keep them afloat for so long without making games? Because like, they were gone for a while not making games, and there's companies that are making games. They're like, I don't know if we need to sell ourselves or not. Like, I don't know if we can survive. But Konami's just been fucking chilling in the background, and then they're like, you know what? People are saying, I don't know what the hell your game is, so we should probably start making them again.
Yeah,
they have like the casual choice to be like, you know what? Maybe we should make sure younger people know what these brands are, so they still have some fucking value.
Right. I don't think they just sell a machine. I think they get constant royalties.
Services. I think they charge for them to be there. I think somebody told me that.
And I think in pachinko alone, they make bank.
Well, last couple times I've been to Vegas, there's Konami machines.
Yeah.
And they're not even just gaming machines; they're just like Konami-made machines. Yeah, so they're, you know, when you look at a DDR machine, even though I guess they're making less and less of those, when you look at a DDR machine, you're like, what arcades are you even making these for still? But it's like they're in the business of making hardware, basically.
Yeah.
It's really weird. But just during that whole video where they kept talking about like our relevance, we're like, you know what, maybe we should be making games. It's like, it seems so weird that you can just have that thought of like, maybe we should, as opposed to like, you know, Ubisoft constantly is pumping out games and going like, Yves Guillemot's got to take a pay cut because we're not making as much. And then there's all these rumors, people going like, lately, people are like, PlayStation should buy Ubisoft. I'm like, slow down. They don't need to fucking buy Ubisoft. But yeah, it's constantly like, Ubisoft needs to get bought by somebody. I'm like, fucking just slow down. We don't need that. But here's Konami just like, yeah, we'll start making games. Anyway, from what we saw though, I don't trust Konami, but what the conversation there conveyed is they are just reawakening to making sure their brands have relevance, which I think is an honest perspective to understand why Konami's making these games. Is they're like, we need to make them enticing so our brands have value, basically. Younger gamers don't know Metal Gear Solid anymore. They don't know Silent Hill, basically, anymore. And so we need to reintroduce that shit to people. And so they are attempting to do that. They also sound like they are aware the fans are going to be super critical, because we fucking will be. And it sounds like they're trying to be careful with that, which I appreciate, because all that tells me is like, hey, we don't want to piss you off, so we're going to try not to do that. And it's like, thanks, because fans feel heard when they hear that kind of shit. Yeah. What they showed was interesting. The graphics are definitely better. Unreal Engine 5 is already a powerhouse in terms of graphics, and the game is looking really good. It does kind of miss that style from the original game, but it's way more faithful than I thought it would be. So I'll give them that for sure. And gameplay-wise, I feel like as long as they, nail how controls feel and stuff like that, will probably be better, hopefully. Especially since you can play both ways. If you want that more classic feel or a third-person shooter feel, that's how I'm going to try and play as the third-person one, just because, I've played the original so many times that I know how that goes. And if I don't like the third-person, I'll just go back to the classic. But yeah, overall, everything seemed pretty cool. So I kind of feel sold. I'm definitely feeling like it's a safe bet that they're probably going to nail it. I hope they do, because they'll definitely hear about it if they don't. But it does seem like they're taking the right steps to just remake and reproduce Metal Gear Solid 3 with better graphics. And that's all they got to do. That's all they got to do. Hopefully they keep all the Easter eggs. Hopefully they keep all the secrets, all that stuff. And if this is a success for them, I hope they'll continue to make remakes. I don't need them to make another Metal Gear Solid. I don't think anybody should touch that. But remaking them, I think, is fine, because Konami owns them. They can do what they want with them. That's how it works. It's obviously unfortunate what happened between them and Kojima, but maybe eventually later, since they're outsourcing all their games to people, they could outsource a Metal Gear Solid fucking project to Kojima Productions. That'd be weird.
He's just gonna make his own espionage game, so it doesn't matter.
Sure, yeah. Which, whatever he does, I'm sold. It's the opposite of Konami. Like I'm obviously Team Kojima, so if he's making anything, I'm instantly interested. But I do think this does seem like a fair and responsible attempt at this. So nothing feels shady about this, which I like. So anyway, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any investment in this or for Silent Hill, but I think for the sake of people who are fans of those series, I hope that these projects are at least respectfully done and just well made. I don't know, on a personal level, how I feel about Konami still, because it still comes off, even in their own words, as much as I understand where they're coming from business wise for all of this, it still doesn't sound like people who want to make games. It sounds like people who care about their brand and how much money they can continue to make off of it.
Yep.
And so that's not exciting for me personally. So I'm hoping that maybe this is them. And I kind of said this before, but dipping their toes into making games again, and maybe some inspiration will come to perhaps go back into putting money into game development and making new games, and maybe I could just stop being so cynical of them all the time. So
yeah, well, there has to be an avenue for somebody to make up for their mistakes. Basically,
Sure.
I will never hold a permanent grudge against most things or people.
Yeah.
Obviously there'll be exceptions, but obviously I've not been a fan of Konami since they made all the mistakes they made. But I'm not turning around. I'm not oh, I hope Konami comes back and fixes it. That's not where I'm coming from at all. They haven't even produced anything outside of the short message, which I thought was kind of lazy feeling, but neat that it was free. I am open though for them, for whatever reasons they are doing it, whether it's to protect their brands, whatever. I'm open for them to attempt this again.
Sure.
And if they start making good games, we can start working towards that, my relationship towards Konami. But it's never going to repair you know, all the really bad mistakes, but like leadership changes, ambitions change, all sorts of shit changes. Sure. I can't hold a permanent grudge against Konami, but I don't trust them. They have to earn some kind of, just a modicum of trust from me back. And if they can produce a remake that feels authentic, I'll be happy, because what I'm seeing does look authentic.
Yeah, I know for a lot of people too, this is probably their favorite Metal Gear game. So.
Oh, for sure. I wish they would have done the first game, but I know a lot of people are like, well, this was before that chronologically. I'm like, yeah, but the story doesn't start there. Like, chronologically, it's before, but like, to really appreciate things in 3, you should have played 1 and 2.
Well, right, because the story was written with the original one existing.
Yes. So, but like Silent Hill 2, it's the most popular of the series, and so you're going to go with the one that's more guaranteed to sell.
Yeah.
People will argue otherwise. I don't agree at all. I think they're doing 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 and Silent Hill 2 because those are the 2 most memed, most talked about, most popular of the series, and they're trying to get the games back out to see if people will bite. You're gonna do the big dogs first, and that's what they're doing here. So, but Metal Gear Solid 3 also was like really fun to play though at the time, so it's also a good one to reintroduce because they are going for gameplay. They want to create a game that new gamers are going to want to play. It doesn't feel like a retro game to them. So, but yeah, I hope they can produce a good game. I'm not hopeful. I'm not like, oh my god, they're going to do it. I hope that I'm not set up to be disappointed. The game can be complete trash. It will not change anything for me. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 3 still exists. So, but I hope they do it. I hope they can make a good game. So,
yeah,
it looks like they're probably going to do it. So, anything else? All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater official game overview. Anything in that stand out to you? Any highlights? What are you most excited about? Do you have any apprehensions, any criticisms? And are you interested in picking this up or any of the recent Konami attempts that they're making? And yeah, let me know what you think about in the comments below when it comes to Metal Gear Solid in general. Next video we got is Assassin's Creed Shadows extended gameplay. This was from the Ubisoft for 2024. I figured it'd be good for us to watch it because this is a brand new Assassin's Creed game. It takes place in Japan. There's controversy around it. We don't care. We're just going to watch for the gameplay, see if it's something that might interest us. We've both played Assassin's Creed in the past. I don't think either of us are big fans of it.
Yeah, I played 1, 2, and the Paris one.
Unity, yeah. Which I liked Unity. I'm one of those people. When it didn't have problems. But this is based in Japan as well. We both like Japanese stuff. So maybe it'll have something for us. And yeah, might be worth watching. So do you got anything to say?
I mean, ideally, hopefully it'll sell me on it. Because I'm honestly just kind of not interested. But that's not because of anything other than I've been just kind of bored of Assassin's Creed as a brand.
Same.
For a while. So I just like, it's a hard sell. But yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing about Assassin's Creed now, anything from what they were to now that really has me excited for a new one. I think the new setting's interesting. I like Japanese stuff. I like samurai stuff. I like I like ninja stuff. But I don't know what else they're bringing to it. So I'm going to need to see some gameplay features that might seem more enticing. Otherwise, this will probably just be another Ubisoft game that they are just pumping out and hoping you'll buy. Because Ubisoft's in a really bad place right now in my mind when it comes to how they're perceived by people. So hopefully they can break out of that and make some great games. Because I always want people to do well. So, but yeah, I'm kind of interested in this. Although if I'm being honest, I don't feel as of right now like I'm going to pick it up. So hopefully this can change my mind or at least get me slightly curious about doing that. So we should probably watch this 13 minutes. This is Assassin's Creed Shadows. Extended gameplay. 3, 2, 1, go. The quality's not as good as it should be, but I think this is like a direct recording of the presentation. So it looks like shit to you guys. It looks like shit to us too, kind of.
I tread my own path in this divided land.
Also, compression's a motherfucker. Things in motion will make detail go down.
Fukuyama.
Looks nice.
Last.
Though. I had people tell me this is going to be one of the RPG Assassin's Creed games.
Big harvest requires many hands.
Not the traditional style. Which I liked. I liked when they did that. Odyssey was a little too much of a game. Like, there's too much game there, but they're fun.
Yeah, I never played any of those ones.
Can that be Oda Nobunaga's famous That samurai.
This is supposed to have, like...
The merchant looks uneasy.
Basically Splinter Cell shit in it, though. Like, you're able to, like, take lights out and sneak around the shadows and stuff. And I'm like, so you won't make a Splinter Cell, but you'll just put Splinter Cell in this game?
Yeah, dude, you just throw Ninja in and that's Splinter Cell.
Yeah. Eventually, they're just gonna have, like, one Ubisoft game. That's just all their games. X Defiance the
Well,
beginning
you
of
are
that.
a friendly beast, are you not?
Alright, cut the dog, got it.
Samurai sir, this way, I beg you. Hurry, sir, please.
Right behind you, little one.
Oh, Baba, I brought someone.
Ikimaru, I wonder where you went. Ah, a samurai. One that does not hail from these lands.
I am a stranger, yes. But you have nothing to fear from me.
Ha! I have enough to fear from the men of Fukuyama. They abuse their power, taxing us again and again, leaving us only scraps. I bet they are in the market now, along the main road. A stranger might make good merit, ridding a village of a threat like these men.
Is that so? Then I shall see it done.
Is this coming out
For
soon?
this life, if not
This
the
year,
next.
yeah.
Okay. Facial animations are a little stiff.
That's what I thought, too. Especially with Yasuke. Almost look robotic.
Yeah, so like visually, it's a good looking game.
Yeah. No, it definitely, all the details and stuff.
Yeah.
Ubisoft's had that down, though, for a while.
For sure.
They've done a really good job on, like, environment work. I feel like they have something that automates it, though. I feel like someone just prints out a map and they just detail it or something.
People here.
Them and EA would be definitely the first ones to just make a full AI game without even thinking about
100%. It's halftime, I'm like, how did you make this fucking map so detailed so quickly? You made this game in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Such beauty, shadowed by suffering.
The setting, obviously, is much more appealing to me than like
What is happening here?
ancient
This isn't
Greece
your
or
fight, samurai.
Egypt.
Right.
It's like, where was Origins? Egypt,
I
of
told
course,
you.
'cause
Keep walking.
pyramids. Helmet came off, broke the armor. Looked like it. I mean, it's cool to see the armor actually breaking away as you hit him. Gives you a nice feedback when you're hitting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, my only complaint so far in this whole thing, seeing it in combat as well, is there's just some very stiff animations.
Yeah, which is surprising because a lot of this looks really smooth.
Yeah.
But every once in a while I see something that looks kind of off.
There's another. Up the road with the castle.
Yeah,
Corrupt
yeah,
samurai named Fujioka.
The combat is actually pretty decent though.
Persecutor. Greed cannot rule this village. Not while I have breath in my lungs and a blade in my hand.
I'm getting sick of every Ubisoft game just about just like liberating people though. It's just like
I'll wash away his failure
pick
with
that
your
dude up.
blood.
Very samurai of him.
Spill it first.
But yeah, every Ubisoft game we play, though, we gotta get rid of these oppressors, save the people.
Think you are for the people.
Can you come up with a deeper story than that?
Just looking out for French history, dude.
Guess so. It's always a revolution with them. That's interesting. Target killed animation used to like be white or whatever and kill them. Remember that from the early Assassin's Creed games?
Vaguely.
It's kind of cool. They changed the aesthetic.
There's your hidden blade for the game.
I was going to handle that.
Too slow. What did you find?
The samurai has been stealing from the villagers. He has been starving the people here for some time.
So now we know who he worked for.
A daimyo in Fukuyama Castle.
We should go.
Not before we send our allies to look for him. He'll be difficult to find.
Is this going to be the impossibly large map now?
Probably.
The daimyo. He's there.
Who will take the lead?
We can sneak in.
Or charge through the front gate.
It's almost dark. No one will see me coming.
They will not stand a chance. But be careful in there.
Don't worry. I won't be alone. It'll be me and the shadows.
That was a little rough.
Yeah, I was lame.
To serve the light.
I'm sitting there going like, okay, this ain't so bad. This ain't so bad. And then she says dumb shit. Like,
When
okay.
fighting a snake, why wrestle the body when you can slice off the head?
You're just gonna have quotes to say constantly?
Can Ubisoft do a Japanese version where I can just have Japanese people speak and I can have subtitles? So I don't know if I'm gonna listen to her. I did read that you'll be able to play like everything as one or the other, which is kind of interesting. That's definitely a safe bet of going like, somebody who doesn't want to fucking stealth around can just Yasuke their way through, but somebody who wants to play a stealth game can...
Well, they also, I mean, they kind of did that with Ghost of Tsushima as well. You could be a samurai or a ninja, basically.
Yeah, it was one character though. But
Yeah. Functionally similar.
Yeah, for sure.
Who did that?
I just think it's weird they're adding all these stealth systems and shit, but then you can just play this as Yasuke. It's like you put all this work into the stealth systems that some people might not even fucking appreciate. Because, I mean, this is more what I would want to play. I don't even like ninja stuff that much, but I like, compared to samurai stuff, but I like stealth in
This
games.
also just feels more like Assassin's Creed to me.
Sure.
Of course, I'm not the right person to have that opinion because I've played 3 of them.
This is just more advanced than I expected to be for Assassin's Creed. Because for a while there, it was like you just walk in groups, not be seen, sit down, not be seen. And later, you walk in a bush, you're crouched. And then in the RPG ones, you could actually crouch and sneak, which I was like, thank you. That's a modern stealth mechanic. But in this, you're able to do all that, but also take lights out, which is stuff that they did years ago with like Splinter Cell.
Right.
So I'm glad they're doing all these things. It's just like, it seems wild it's just now happening. But I am a sucker for older Ubisoft stealth games because you just play them enough, you get into this flow where you're just constantly moving and taking people out and hiding them and shit. And this kind of reminds me of it. Although I wish it was darker. It seems fucking bright as shit.
That could be partially because the trailer was different as well.
Yeah, that's true. I wish there were some
He's
animations
coming.
when you
I
walk
need to
by
hide.
and turn things off.
of you! First, Fujioka dies in the street at the hands of some stranger!
Corruption reigns.
You serve me scalding tea? Besides ruining its delicate flavor, I nearly lose my tongue for business.
I read that up at the top left as he's in Tampa
Fujioka
for a
must have
second.
been
I
the
was like,
samurai
he's on
Yasuke
vacation or
took.
what?
Good riddance.
You see, this looks fun to
A
me.
daimyo like that deserves a
play
slower
this.
death than the one I'm about to give him.
I really don't like the choice of dialogue for her, though. She sounds so simple. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a neat touch.
Just gonna do that in front of that guy. That was kind of sloppy for a presentation, but
That's a strong chain to be knocking that.
wild that she just chopped a fucking forest down.
I've shed all the blood I need. Time to go.
Glad you decided that, not the person playing. Damn, he's fucking shooting people. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna do that. I have to loot this. She's apparently just done with this already. This reminds me, play the final season 3. Kyoto map.
They might as well sponsor it.
Yeah, they should. I would totally advertise the finals. Enough of that. I don't need to hear you absolute monsters. Fucking do your thing. What do we think?
It looks okay.
I kind of liked it.
I definitely liked it more than I didn't.
Yeah.
I think it looks fine as a game. I'm also just not like excited for it is the problem. But I'm notoriously not into open world games.
Yeah.
So like most of my complaints aren't going to be about the game itself as much as just preferences of mine. My only actual criticism this whole time is the animations constantly had weird things happening. They'd be good for a moment, and then some weird stuff would happen, and then like at one point she like brushes a light and it like kind of like twitches funny, and like I don't know. There's a lot of things that just aren't really fine tuned. It's an open world game. That kind of stuff's going to happen, but it was happening. I think a little more than I would have liked to see. The samurai combat looked a little stiff, and maybe it gets better as you play. I don't know. Maybe it's just presented badly. Who knows?
Well, the presentation wasn't the best because the way she took that dude out was like very sloppy.
Yeah,
I figured they would have planned that better.
Yeah, her gameplay was more akin to what I expect from an Assassin's Creed game, which makes sense. Ninja assassin, yada yada.
I like that you can crawl.
Yeah, and
cool.
I do like that they give you the option to choose. That also helps with replayability because you can go through it multiple times then. Experience a different version of the fights. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it looks okay. And I think, anyone who is like interested in buying this game, I think they're probably reassured, unless they have other issues I don't want to talk about. But yeah, I think it is exactly what I kind of expected it to be. So
it was a little better than I expected. Because we had seen a little bit before, but not like just straight up gameplay, which I appreciate. Yes. I said before we watched this that I didn't have any interest in picking this up so far. I didn't say that negatively. I don't feel that. Yeah, it's easy for me to feel that. I'll know, but like I'm going to buy that shit. I don't know if I'm going to buy it day one or not. I'm going to buy it. I didn't have that feeling. I do kind of have that feeling now. And it was when I was watching Nawe play that I was like, I don't really have a stealth game to be playing right now. And it looked pretty good.
You're pretty into those.
Yeah, I fucking wish there was more, and that's why I've been vocal about Splinter Cell. I'm like, I would love a Splinter Cell, especially one with multiplayer, because that shit was so fucking good. But
just report Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I want more. So seeing her gameplay, I was like, that looks pretty fucking fun. His looks fun, but it just reminded me of the other Assassin's Creeds I've played recently.
Yeah.
They have very similar combat where you lock on and you're blocking, parrying, and hitting and shit. It did look really brutal, which you do kind of expect from Assassin's Creed. They always have had pretty brutal finishers. I remember like Assassin's Creed 2 going like, holy shit, like the way you kill people. So it's been a thing for a long time. I like that the environment was affected by the combat. Except for when Naue swung and chopped down a whole forest. That was crazy. But
and like visually, this town is awesome.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Like, I love the visuals, and not just because it's Japan, even though that's a huge factor. The graphics, I think, are nice. The details are good. The ground. I was looking at the ground when he's walking. I'm like, there's all these little fucking details there where it's crazy looking.
Yeah, it's just nice looking.
It's a very nice looking game. And I do agree, some of the stuff looks kind of stiff, robotic, which is kind of weird, because other things I'm like, that looked really good.
Yeah.
So it's like inconsistent.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, him knocking all that fruit over and shit, but also, be warned, Ubisoft so many times has presented games that look amazing visually, and then they come out and they don't look like that. Watch Dogs, nobody will ever forget that. Until it becomes irrelevant, then they gotta remake it from the ground up because they're losing relevancy. But yeah, this combat looks fine, but this isn't like super exciting for me. This is just like, it's more Assassin's Creed. Okay, cool. This is what Odyssey did. This is what Origins did. I don't remember the other one. But yeah, seeing the Naue gameplay was the bigger seller for me, because simple enough, she was taking lights out. I love that shit. I love that you can actually like dictate how you can interact with the environment. It's missing from so many games still. It's crazy. So I like that. Also, a lot of the movements, the way she was climbing, the way she was using her like rope to get around, stuff like that, looked really well. And as controversial as Yasuke has been for a lot of people, and honestly, I think it's predictable that they put him in the game. I also don't give a shit. So that's just where I'm at. I'm of the party of like, can we shut Naue up? Maybe, because that has nothing to do with her being a girl. She was saying really dumb shit.
The dialogue was just
the dialogue was bad.
Yeah.
Like, I was completely open-minded, and she said some shit. I'm like, is this for like 13-year-olds? This is like,
it was rough.
It was almost as bad as her going like, I am a good guy and these are the bad guys. I'm gonna take them out because they do bad things.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's real cool, dude. So yeah, wasn't a big fan of what she had to say, but her gameplay looked awesome. So I think I've been shifted over. For anybody complaining about like, oh, you guys aren't as excited about this as you should be, I think I'm interested in this game now. After watching this, not super pumped. There's no hype. I might not even pick it up day one. I might wait, but it does look fun. So I like the setting. I'm really curious about how progression is going to work, though, because if it's like the other Assassin's Creeds that are like more RPG-like, there'll be like gear and gear score and shit. So, which I'm not opposed to. I like that kind of stuff as long as it doesn't feel like just the same shit over and over again with higher stats, but something interesting to get. But and I do like that you can switch, because maybe you get bored of the stealth shit eventually, and you're like, I just want to bash people with my fucking.
Well, let me bust out this rifle,
or just let me pull out my AK-47 and unload on people. Like I like variety, so
Yeah,
I
sure.
think they're playing it safe with this game, and not safe like in design, but safe like we need to make this game appeal to fucking everybody. How do we do that?
Yeah.
Let them do whatever the hell they want. I mean, we learned this lesson with Metal Gear Solid 5. You can go in stealth or just guns blazing. Do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Like that's up to you, and I think it worked gameplay wise, because that one everybody holds so highly in terms of how fun it was. So it is weird that they make you pick one or two, though. It'd be better if there's a button to switch between the two characters, something like that. Like didn't Grand Theft Auto 5 do that? You just switch characters anytime.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's weird they didn't go that route, but I think it's cool. I just don't want to hear her talk, but other than that, it's not because she's a girl. I don't want to hear shit about that.
Yeah, blame the writers.
Fuck the writers. It's not her fault. So yeah, looked alright. Anything else?
No.
You gonna buy it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if I have like free time.
I'll let you know. I'll tell you if I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think you might really like it. Because I won't waste that on you.
And then
if I don't think that.
If the price is right, obviously.
Sure.
At the time
this game will be $30 in a month or two.
Wow, that's the AAA market, isn't it?
Ubisoft is real good about that. They'll release a game and they go, "Oh, you're not buying it? How about for $30?"
You know, it's not ever on sale. Activision games and FromSoft games.
Sure.
Well, FromSoft way later, but Elden Ring's still
Activision's
60.
gotten better. They'll drop their game down to 40 in 3 years. But I remember a long time ago looking at Black
Nintendo
Ops
as well. They're really bad.
Sure. Nintendo doesn't have to give a shit though. But Activision, I remember looking up Black Ops, the original one on PC, and it was still $60. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? This game's been out forever.
Yeah.
But they know people want it still, so they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
All right, so let us know in the comments, though. What do you guys think about Assassin's Creed Shadows extended gameplay? Are you sold? Have you been sold? Are you not sold still? What were some of the highlights for you? Maybe there's a detail here you noticed that we didn't talk about that you want to bring up. And how do you feel about the direction? We think about them doing the more RPG stuff and less of the traditional stuff. Which one do you favor? And what do you think about Naoe's gameplay as opposed to Yasuke's? And was I too harsh about Naoe? Let me know. Although I'm sticking with my guns. I thought she sounded terrible, what she had to say. So not her voice, just the writing. Let us know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to this. Last video of the show is Star Wars Outlaws gameplay showcase, which was also on Ubisoft 4. These are the two things I thought even sounded remotely interesting, because the rest of the show was Rainbow Six Siege still exists.
For Honor Season 27.
For Honor has 20 people still playing. Skull and Bones, please play it.
Please.
So, none of that shit is that interesting for me.
Yeah.
I think if I was playing those games actively, maybe I'd be a little more interested. But two things. They got some two big upcoming games that I should be staying on top of. These are them.
Sure.
So, Star Wars Outlaws, I think sounds interesting. And from some of the stuff we've seen already, it looks kind of interesting. I am being transparent here, not into Disney Star Wars at all. But I do like Star Wars. And so, if they just make a solid game that's in the Star Wars universe, I'd be down to play it. But I am kind of in the same boat as I was with Assassin's Creed of going I don't feel a strong impulse to want to buy this, because you're basically going to be running around just shooting stuff with lasers. And, what's the gameplay? What's the gameplay mechanics that are going to be really making me want to play it? I guess we'll find out. So how do you feel about Star Wars Outlaws before we watch this?
I mean, I think similarly, probably a little more extremely, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I do like the OG, 1970s, movies, but that's kind of it. So, overall, that just means that there's more Star Wars that exists that I don't like than there is Star Wars.
Yeah, it's easy to say that now. Yep.
So there's no hype for me in that regard. Now, I'm not opposed to just playing a good game, and the little bit I've seen in the game looks okay to me, which doesn't scream spend $70 on this. So we'll see. I'm not completely dismissing it, but I have kind of super low expectations. So
yeah, that's fair. All right, well, let's watch this and form our opinions. This is Star Wars Outlaws gameplay showcase. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, new record. At the top, where it should be. Let's go, Nix.
Okay, that's already good detail. You can play
Hello,
a
everyone.
arcade
I'm
game.
Matthias Karlsson, game director at Massive Entertainment. Today, we'll show you a different type of adventure. And as we journey across multiple systems, we will come across many opportunities for
Here's
astounding.
how they'll handle this too, because Massive made Division 2, and I
In
like
Star
both
Wars
those
Outlaws,
games.
one of your motivations for exploration is to find elusive experts scattered across the galaxy. These experts will help Kay pick up new skills to survive in the underworld. Here, we're looking for a gunslinger who can teach us some new tricks. Our intel points to the Mos Eisley Cantina on Tatooine. So let's head back to our ship.
Never get away from Mos Eisley. That
We're
place
picking
is
up
Star
in
Wars.
Accra Station. A remnant of the Clone Wars, it used to be a refueling station that now acts as a trade hub for illegal contraband. It's a great place to resupply.
The atmosphere is good.
Yeah, just like the other game. I mean, they got their
Merchants
environments
are often
down.
affiliated with the syndicate and might offer you a special deal if you're in good standing with them.
The animations look a lot better in this game.
Yeah,
this kind of business attracts
kind of makes
all
sense
kinds
because
of
like Division, I
shipjackers,
thought looked really
contract
good too.
brokers,
The way
and
movement
corrupt
was at the
officials.
time. It's an older game
Your
now.
name cleared from the wanted list.
Your ship, the Trailblazer, is a refined EML 850, the last of its kind. On board, you'll find everything you need to finalize your preparations.
I like to actually walk onto it and not like teleport.
I've seen a few things now, like with the arcade machine and everything. Just a lot of seamless.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy.
You know, from one thing to another. Smooth.
Each planet has its own system for you to
I was
explore,
expecting that.
and many opportunities to make a few credits, which you can choose to engage with or not.
I am under attack. My ship will not survive long.
This is Kay Bess on board the Trailblazer.
Yeah, this shit's happening like
I'm
right next
coming
door.
home.
Destroy people.
Turret activated, Kay.
Freelancer.
Yeah, for sure.
One down.
I still like that the music is more like traditional Star Wars. I don't remember. Let me know in the comments if everybody knows, but when does this take place in the Star Wars timeline? Unless they cover it later, but because it feels like OG trilogy esque.
Happy to help. And you can tell Gorak he owes Kay Bess a ship.
In space, your actions also have consequences and can impact your reputation with syndicates. This optional dogfight allowed us to improve our reputation with the Pikes while making a few credits.
Spooling up the hyperdrive.
Now let's continue our journey and head to Tatooine.
You don't have to punch in coordinates, you just fucking go.
That was a menu.
Oh, was there? Yeah, but they didn't like.
Tatooine
They just like turn left. One.
Edge of the galaxy.
Sure.
The
Okay.
tattoo system
Sure.
is in the
Yeah,
clutches
too
of the
critical.
Hut Cartel.
I'm just used to games you have to like
Our
turn
reputation
and look
is
for the
poor,
point and then go.
so we best be on our way.
I think if they're making a space sim, they'd get less people playing it.
Sure. Well, it doesn't need to be either, because I mean, I don't always want to play sim either.
Same.
I like that you actually see the clouds are above the planet. That's a cool detail.
That's nice. It's gonna be seamless. There's the loading screen.
Are they trying to piss off Bethesda?
Welcome
Yeah,
to
that
the
was nice.
legendary Mos Eisley,
Yeah, that was good looking.
the infamous hive of scum and villainy. We could head straight to our destination, or explore what the city has to offer. Recreating this iconic city is a dream come true for our team, allowing us to show parts of Mos Eisley you've never seen before.
Room for one more?
There are many opportunities for
That place
scoundrel,
sucks.
including working your way in with the Hut Cartel. Most of Tatooine's economy is under their control, even though the increased Imperial presence has been hurting their
Like
business.
classic stormtroopers.
But first, we need to pick up the trail of our expert gunslinger. The best place to start is the cantina.
That other Star Wars game
By asking
also
around, we learn of a pirate who is deadly
felt
with
more
a
Star
blaster
Wars than
and
like
who
the
used to
current
work for the
shows
Hut
and
Cartel.
movies. So maybe just video games.
Our
People
intel
care
leads
about
to
it
one
more.
of their storehouses,
Probably.
located
yeah.
in the southern hills.
That's cool. You see the Jawa
Traveling
thing.
to your destination can be an adventure in itself. As you move across scorching dunes and dusty valleys, you'll quickly realize that this lawless desert planet still holds many mysteries. We've
weird way to
reached
get
our
off.
I was like,
destination.
did you have to do that?
We need to locate our storehouse and
Again, if it
find
was
a way into
moving,
this
trying to
heavily
jump off
guarded
it, all they
fortress
want to jump to the
without
sides, you don't get
triggering
hit by it.
the
But
alarm.
like, that's kind of a weird way to get off.
You never
Busy
know who's looking.
place.
Gotta be cool all the time.
True.
All right. Maybe there's a data pad or something that can tell me who that old gunslinger is.
I hope you can shoot lights out and sneak in the shadows.
You don't know which game to buy instead, though, right?
Climb underwater and use a tube to breathe.
Dang, get him. It's a good little doggy.
Good job, buddy. Nix, do you sense anyone close?
Damn.
That's one way to do that system.
Sutta.
This is all shit from Splinter Cell, man.
Easy.
This is why they won't make it. They just put in everything else.
All right, let's see what we have here. Yes, I got it. Wait, Quint? That sheriff from Wayfar used to work for the Huts? I should talk to her.
Oh, come on!
We've been spotted, but we now know where to
Is
find
that a
our
move where you can just shoot from the
Let's
hip real
get out of
quick?
here
Or... Sounds interesting.
One thing I've noticed too is you know how like a lot of games they have like constant talking and stuff like that. You know, be a little more alive feeling. She actually doesn't like overdo it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it a lot.
No, I appreciate people trying that. Sometimes, you know, they haven't nailed it yet. Some people just put too much. But in real life, people do talk, rant like ambiently.
Come on, Nick!
There we are.
You again. If you're
Man, what
still
up,
looking
Sheriff?
for Haas,
True.
I haven't seen him.
This is
Actually,
a
I'm
direct
here for you.
call
I
out to
heard you're the
Bethesda because they
best
like to
shot
put
on the
sheriffs in their
planet.
games too.
Oh, and you want to be second best. Now is not a good time. The Huts are coming, and I need to get ready.
We're making Starfield.
Get your blaster out.
What we have just shown you is the beginning of one of the many adventures you can go on in Star Wars Outlaws. Whether you want to learn new blaster skills, upgrade your speed,
It's very Red Dead Redemption.
or become an unstoppable thief.
Yeah, it looks good.
Finding an expert is always an adventure in a galaxy full of opportunities.
We should get moving.
Shut up.
Okay, what do we think?
I think that was probably the best video for that game so far.
Yeah, I agree.
I got to see the video game. Thank you.
This is exactly what I mean when I say I want to see someone play the game.
Yeah.
Like, of course, that was set up
Oh,
to be
absolutely.
a presentation, but it was like a seamless gameplay showing load times, transition on, you know, how seamless we commented on.
You know what the game is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You get a sense of the gameplay loop and not just like flashes of people punching and shooting and shit. So
Right.
yeah, this is exactly what I mean.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you. the game looks interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it actually does look like a fun game. Subject matter, like I stated earlier on, I'm not like particularly interested, though. The atmosphere is really good. The animations looked really good. The combat actually looked fun too, with a lot of different like variations in like animations there as well. Obviously you can really simplify and be like, well, it's just a third person action game. Well, that's a video game, man.
Mm-hmm.
But it does feel like they put effort into it, and
it does.
Yeah. I'd be curious. I'll probably keep an eye on this one and see what people say once it comes out. I know it has a pretty big like price controversy. I didn't pay too much attention to it. I just know that there's a very big price difference between the first and the second version of it.
This and Assassin's Creed. That's Ubisoft.
Yeah. So maybe not day one for me, if that's the case. But.
Well, and I got people all over TikTok constantly telling me, like, just pay for Ubi Plus, or the fuck it's called. You can rent the game, and then you don't have to worry about it. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't like renting games. I don't even pay for music services. I still buy my music. So.
I buy vinyls, so that's how I support music.
I mean, I guess I pay for YouTube, but that comes with music, but I don't really use it for that. So I just use it to not have ads. But on mobile specifically.
Even the space combat I thought looked fun.
Yeah, well, it looks like the reason I like, and this is a very old reference, but like Freelancer wasn't a sim game, but it was like faux sim, but it was very arcadey in its space combat, and that's fun for me. Like, that's just kind of what I want to do in a space game. I think sims are really cool. I don't have the time in my life to play something like that. So the combat is kind of what I want to see in a space combat game. It looks good. Does it feel good? I don't know. I haven't played it, obviously.
Looks like it does. I also really appreciate the lack of load times.
Yeah, a lot of seamless stuff there, which I love to see. It feels good. Like, even in the very beginning, I think them playing that little arcade game, which you can play, which is cool.
Yep.
And then it just instantly went to them like being the character. I was like, that was smooth. So, and there's other games like table games when you're in the bars and stuff like that, which is just flavor to the game, right?
I just noticed when that ship got hit, there was an explosion, and then it was twirling out of control in space, and then exploded. That's pretty fucking cool looking.
Yeah. So, I think honestly I'll keep my eye on this one. I, up until this trailer, didn't care, and I've seen a couple trailers for this game now. So, I think this one just did a very good job of showing the game, which is what I need to see when I see a trailer. So.
It looks like something I would want to play.
Yeah.
So I mean, they did a good job, because everything I saw on this before, just look like an open world Ubisoft game, which I've played plenty of those, and they're all fine. But after a while, it's like, well, what do you even really bring to the table? And with this, first off, seamless transitions between things, which might sound like a little thing, but after playing Starfield, which I'm one of the weird people who thought the game was fine and hate it or love it, the load times were fucking horrendous. Like, it was like such a distracting thing that everywhere you went, you had to go load real quick and then go to the next thing, and it never felt like this like adventure. It felt like you're just kind of loading into segments basically, and that you can just like fly right out of that bigger ship, go into space, start flying around shooting shit, and then fly onto a plane like that. Looks really good. It makes you feel like you're on an adventure. So yeah. And then the world's super detailed, super immersive in terms of like people are doing things. There's a lot of little details all over the place. I like that you can transition from just like going in space and shooting people to like coming here, walking around, finding quests and stuff to do, and then leaving here on your bike, finding like very Ubisoft-esque, outposts and stuff like that to do missions. But there's like a lot of little details with the animations and like even the way you interact with your pet, which I thought was like really cool looking too. I also appreciate that time it takes place in. At the very least, what I'm speculating on, it looks like OG trilogy timeline, but which I hope it is, because that's more interesting to me. It has that more Wild West feel to it, not so sterile. But I also like that it's not about, and I love Jedi. Well, I loved certain eras of Jedi stuff. I like that it has nothing to do with that.
There's more to do in a universe than just in this universe than Jedi. So
yeah, and people have been saying that for a long time. People have been defending certain things in like Disney Star Wars by saying that, but we're still not getting away from it. And it's like you can do more than just be Han Solo, which this is kind of, or be a Jedi. There's other things you could do that could be interesting, but what they are doing with this though does look kind of cool. I do like kind of the setup of checking an outpost and seeing where, you know, we did this in Far Cry and other games, but it does look like fun gameplay. Even when she approaches and she has her pet like attack the dude, she runs up and punches him. That was cool looking. I do think seeing through walls and putting highlights on people is kind of cheesy, but if it's in the game, I'll use it. So, and such an Ubisoft thing to see. But it does, other than that, look pretty fun. There's a lot of little details too I was curious about, like when she shoots before she's aiming, she shoots from the hip, which is very Han Solo, but then raises her gun. So I'm wondering if that's like a move to hit somebody without aiming or something, and then start firing, or if that's just how you initiate when you start shooting without, you know, going ADS or something. I'll be curious, but yeah. And then at the end, it showed a lot of different locations that look completely different. The game just seems pretty ambitious for an Ubisoft game, but also Massive doesn't really make a lot of games, so it kind of makes sense. I think they've been working on this for a little bit. So, and of course, you know, it's a pretty big contract. If you're making a Disney product, you probably want to make sure it is high quality. Yeah. Because you want to keep making Star Wars games. You know, Ubisoft wants to continue doing that, so they're probably like, you got to make this good. So it looks like they are. And like I said before, I like Division and Division 2. So I do like the dev behind it. So yeah, I think I'm probably more interested in this than Assassin's Creed Shadows, even though I did get a little interest in that from watching the last video. This one just seems more, I guess, ambitious. It just feels like they're actually trying here to make something really cool. So I hope they can nail it, because it looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
Looks pretty fun. My only concern is the story really sucks, which I don't care that much about. But also, is it going to be repetitive? Is it like, you know, is after like the last 4 or 5 hours of the game, you're like, I'm doing this again. That was cool at one point, but now it's not anymore. And that's a lot of games, but Ubisoft has like a track record of really overstaying their welcome on certain gameplay mechanics and activities to do in open worlds and stuff, which, you know, I never really felt in some other open world games, like, I don't know, Cyberpunk or something. There's always something different I was doing. So, yeah, we'll see. Time will tell, but looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to add to this?
Nope.
All right. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about Star Wars Outlaws gameplay showcase. Anything you noticed in this that looked cool? Anything you're excited about? Anything you maybe are like, that doesn't look too great? Or maybe you have some hard criticisms of it. And yeah, what do you want from the game? What are you hoping for? What are you hoping for from Star Wars in general? I know what are the ones with the redhead in it? I forgot. Do you remember the 2 Dark Souls style games? I can't remember the names for some reason.
No.
Holy shit. Why can't I remember? Those ones were praised. So,
yeah, I know people like those.
Yeah. Well, I played the first one. I thought it was pretty good too, and I don't even care about the subject matter that much. But yeah, what are you hoping for in the future of Star Wars games? And yeah, let us know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to this and all the things we talked about. But that's going to do it for this episode of TasteCast. I said 208, right? This is 208.
It's an episode.
Thank you, as always, for joining us for this. Thank you, Chevy, for joining me for this. And I've been Seth, and until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.